Welcome back to pregame.tv. We're going to take a look at Saturday Major League Baseball action. Philadelphia at Milwaukee. Ken, this is going to be your pick. All of a sudden, Philadelphia Phillies, they've won 5 in a row. Are they back, or have they just been playing some slumping teams? You know, it always helps to play them. Miami Marlins. That'll put anybody on a winning streak.
Except the Mets. My Mets beat the Yankees 4 in a row. Then they lose 3 in a row to the Marlins. Only the Mets could do that. But I like the way Philadelphia is playing, and they're doing it without Chase Utley. So that's cool because usually, you know, they have that excuse. No Howard, no Utley. Both of them were back in the lineup. Still really didn't produce. Out of nowhere, Dominic Brown. Who is this guy? All I know is I picked him up, fantasy league. He had 7 home runs, has 18 coming into today. Unbelievable streak.
Yeah, well, that's the key. This kid's been amazing, and they're scoring runs. In this 5-game winning streak, they have scored 5 runs or more in all 5 games. 3 of the games they scored 7, and 1 of the games they scored 6. So, I mean, when you're scoring runs, it doesn't matter. I mean, who you're playing, you're going to get the job done. And they're playing a Milwaukee team. This team's just falling apart right now. The Brewers, I think they've lost like 10 of their last 13 games.
That's
something like that.
That's a good call, right on the money there.
So, you know, what do you see with this pitching matchup? You got a guy coming out of the bullpen making a start for Milwaukee. He's a former starter,
right? A
former Pittsburgh Pirate. I'm familiar with.
And Gorzolani's he's good. He'll keep you off balance. He throws slower and slowest, you know, kind of. It's unreal, but he does. He's a very smart pitcher, very cerebral, and a guy that can keep you off balance. But I don't like taking a guy that's been coming out of the bullpen pretty regularly for the Brewers, and now all of a sudden he just came out of the bullpen 4 days ago. You're going to stick him right on there and expect a quality start. I think they're looking for 5 good innings, maybe 6. But again, not a lot of fast stuff, so not too taxing on his arm. So if he pitches well and keeps Philly off balance, they could take care of business.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'll say about the Brewers, and I talked about this week on the show with Scott Spreitzer on pregame radio. The Brewers, they're like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They're a 500 ball club when they go against a right-hander. You put them against a left-hander, and this team is horrible. Now, fortunately for Milwaukee, in this game, they're facing a right-hander in Kendrick, but Kendrick's been pitching, you know, well of late. He's coming off 2 very good outings, and it looks like, you know, he had that little mini slump, but he had pitched solid all year, had a couple bad games, and then back on track with 2 good games. This, you know, how do you see this one?
Well, you know what? I need you to give me the old Marco D'Angelo. I need the Marco D'Angelo, the tagline that you're known for here at pregame.
All right. Well, we've talked about it. It's Ken's free pick. Let's make it official.
And let's make it official. And we're not going to go with Milwaukee. I know I go against the Brewers a lot, but how can you go with this team? 8-26 in their last 34. Are you kidding me? That is absolutely ridiculous. And when you look at their lineup, you've got Segura 338 and Gomez 318. You've got Aoki at 296, and then you've got Braun at 294. Now, the Braun thing, he's a distraction with all the stuff going on in Florida. Again, the speculations from a couple years ago, he still got the MVP, all that stuff. But again, it's tainted, and you can feel it. So again, a lot of, you know, like that gray cloud over this Milwaukee team right now. Meanwhile, Aramis Ramirez back off the DL. But Ricky Weeks, are you kidding me? 195, Betancourt 216. I know I had the winning hit the other day, but just pathetic. So again, Gorzolani comes out of the bullpen, but I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I like the way the Phils are playing. And again, without Chase Utley. So hopefully they can keep it going. When Utley gets back, that's just going to bolster that lineup a little more. Young has been solid. Rollins hitting okay. Howard, an occasional home run. Mayberry had the big 2 home run game, including the walk-off grand slam last week. Kendrick, 6-3, a 3.12 ERA, very solid. 8 of the last 10 games that he's been in, 2 earned runs or less, so that's good. And he's never given up more than 1 home run in a game, and only 5 home runs in his last 10 starts. That is solid. 6 of the last 7 for Philadelphia, better than 5 runs, as Marco talked about a little bit earlier. 15-9 Philly in their last 24. I like a team that finally gets to 500 and then gets over 500. Again, they're playing tonight with Cliff Lee on the hill. Good chance to be 2 games over by the time they start this one on Saturday. I'm looking for Philly the way I rode the Angels when they had had that 8-game winning streak. Philly to kind of get right in there, make Washington sweat. I expect Philly to pass Washington with Bryce Harper out of the lineup. And then again, the Nats are struggling right now. Put a little pressure on Atlanta. Hey, Philly fans, right now they're packing that ballpark. They're supporting this team. They keep winning. That place is going to get loud and rambunctious. It's going to be a lot of fun over there in the city of brotherly love. My play on pregame.tv, take the fighting Phils and lay the juice, but Gorzolani's actually right now a -110 favorite.
There you go. A lot of value there. Ken says take the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll see if he's correct with Kendrick, who's pitching well. And I'll throw one stat for the season. He's got an ERA on the road of 2.31. Solid all year long with him. So there you have it. We're going to come back. We got one more video for you, but we've got 2 picks in that video. Ken and I, we're both going to give you a pick in the Miami-San Antonio game. You're going to get the total. You're going to get the game. We're bringing it all to you. That's up next. NBA Finals, Game 2, Heat and Spurs.